Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and pleasure for tonight we have ourselves a special treat. John Franklin is on the show. John, come on out. Get out here, John.
I'm coming. Hey, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing, man? It's been a minute, Mark. It's good to be back.
Good to have you, brother. Did you hear about the special treat we have tonight?
Dude, I've heard some whispers. Man. I've heard a couple whispers, and I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Waiting. Stephen Reep is on the show. Stephen, get out here.
How you doing?
Man, the myth, the legend.
Guy.
Welcome back, everyone.
What's up,
Did you hear
dudes?
Stephen about the special treat we have tonight?
Oh, I heard. I'm very excited.
Kendall Yakafoli, Slave by Kendall, is on the show. Get her out here.
Hi.
Kendall Yakafoli. Kendall, did you hear about tonight's special treat?
I did. It sounds amazing.
The man behind the magic, Machinist, is here. Machinist, where are you at, brother? Is he coming out?
Really
He doesn't
killing
have
us.
to come out. He was busy.
Oh, man. I know he's here. I see him in the back.
Did y'all really hear about this?
Oh, we heard.
Tonight's the night. We are going to be blessed by the presence of Roger Bartlett, the original guitarist of Jimmy Buffett's Reefer band.
Woo!
Bring him out.
So we got a jammed back show, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to hear about tonight's sponsorship by Slave by Kendall.
Hi guys.
Kendall,
I believe we're going to start off with a video, and then I'm going to talk.
I'ma grow up and be an astronaut. I'm on a Mexican radio.
So that's a quick little video I have. It's one of actually the first reels I made on my Instagram. It's really funny because I constantly talk about my favorite music artists, and then I started making stickers and products that go towards those music artists and some of their songs. Nessa Barrett's a big one, and it's kind of cool just to see how music affects people, and especially a business like this when most of your products are like music based. And I have multiple collections for different artists, and I'm working on more. Also, if you have any suggestions for artists, definitely let me know, and I'll definitely get some stickers and products for those. And also, we have some stickers here. Guitars and Cigars logo. Slay by Kendall logo. And our newest addition to this collection, the Don't Delay, Slay Today sticker, which is the slogan for the collab, and it's all available on my website for purchase, including the shirts, and it's available when we do giveaways. So yeah, those are my products that we usually use, and it's fun. So I believe that we have our cigar aficionado Stephen Reep coming up next.
All righty. Thank you, Kendall. Those are awesome. I can't wait to get my Slay today and my Cigars and Guitars
Yes.
Stickers.
Yeah, I'm excited for those.
Yes.
Good to see everyone on the chat. We got Machinist, Beverly, EA, Amped Amy, Joanna's on Facebook, Chris is on YouTube. So really cool to see all the familiar faces. I know it's been a couple weeks. Super excited about today's guest. But before we get to the guitars, we got to break out the cigars. So today we're going to go, I was thinking about what cigar we could go with today. And of course I had to go parrot themed, right? If we got a Coral Reefer on, we know they love parrots. So today we got the San Cristobal Iglesias. Actually, San Cristobals are some of my favorite cigars. They are super just light and enjoyable usually. This is the Inglesia is 93 rated. It is has a Connecticut wrapper, that lighter wrapper. Like the rest of the San Cristobal family, this new release hails from Don Pepin Garcia's heralded factory in Nicaragua, and which is really cool. I know a lot of times I also smoke My Father's cigars, same factory, same farm and everything. These are kind of like the more upper brand of My Father's cigars. Kind of think like, you know, Chrysler is to, you know, Dodge. Like these are kind of the premium versions from the same factory, you know. I guess it was. But yeah, we'll light her up. I don't want to have you guys too much waiting because I know we have an awesome guest. So got my trusty Zippo out. I've been practicing my tricks.
Got those Zippo tricks.
You like that?
I do.
Boom. Remember to rotate. Got that nice light. Hopefully some of you guys are enjoying it. But what goes really good with a cigar, and we're getting ready to hear those guitars, is a good drink from Happiness Bar. So we're back with John Robert Franklin, and he's going to show us some delicious tropical drinks to set the mood. Take it away, John.
Dude, that's right, man. And, you know, when I heard about our guest today, when I heard about Roger Bartlett coming on, I was super excited. And just excited to bring, I guess, drinks that kind of go with the vibe of the music, right? We've done a margarita on this show before. I wanted to kind of mix it up. I wanted to do a little riff on a margarita. And then later, I'm also going to be showing you a shaken pina colada, right? Made with just the best ingredients, super fresh. And this is the perfect time of year. I know these sound like summer cocktails, but this is the perfect time of year for these drinks because when we start getting closer to like winter is really when citrus really reaches its peak. So when we get closer to these colder months, especially more in the depth of winter, all your citrus is going to be at its peak, all those tropical fruits. So it's really such a great time to use them for fresh ingredients. It's really, really awesome. And, you know, something that'll kind of, if you're smoking a cigar tonight, it'll kind of cut that cigar smoke a little bit. It'll give you a little bit of acidic, brighter cocktails to chill with your cigar and to listen to the killer tunes we got coming on, right? So this being my first time back behind the bar in a couple weeks, if anyone was with us last week, I was behind the guitar and the piano. Then we had Thanksgiving week, but I'm happy to be behind the bar again. So we're going to get started with our first cocktail for the night, which is our pineapple margarita. Yeah, so the pineapple margarita, guys, what I love about this is that the prep is super light. Now, I did a couple things ahead of time tonight just so I didn't have to be cutting and juicing my limes here on camera. You've seen me do it before. I don't need to show you again. I have my lime juice already cut, juiced, and double strained, as always, to make sure there's no pulp in that juice. And I went ahead and just bought pre-canned 100% pineapple juice, right? Normally, I would cut and juice pineapples from scratch, and that way I could do cool things like maybe char the pineapple so you get a charred pineapple juice in your drink, do something a little bit extra. But I wanted to keep things kind of quick, kind of concise, kind of easy to do. So we got 100% pineapple juice, not from concentrate. You don't want that. You don't want the added sugars, none of that kind of stuff, because it's going to change the profile of the cocktail, right? So the great thing about this cocktail, there's no syrups in it either. So all we got to do is just make the cocktail once you have your lime already juiced. But for argument's sake, if you are cutting your fresh limes, if you didn't buy pre-done lime juice, if you're cutting your limes fresh, which I recommend, you're going to need yourself a cutting board, you're going to need yourself a knife, and you're going to need yourself a citrus juicer, as well as a mesh basket strainer to make sure you can double strain that citrus juice out to make sure it is super clean, super fresh, no pulp in it for the cocktails. So, this being a shaken cocktail, we are going to start with our shaker tin. And we're also going to need our jigger for measuring.
Shaken, not stirred.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to need our glassware. I'm going to take 2 seconds because I've been running around like crazy today. I'm going to grab my ice from my freezer. So, Steven, keep him entertained with a cigar while I go get my ice.
The ice is always the dreaded
Oh,
last ingredient. That's awesome. Well, must be nice as he gets some ice. Don't do it twice. I think that is twice that he did it. All right, who we got in the chat? We got Anthony Marzella. I believe you're new. Welcome, Anthony. We got Beverly, classic. Jeff Wedge. Looks like the Order of the Sleepless Nights has shown off in full force. Sounds like great nights. I think it's a pun there. EA is here. Big Dogma. Always a pleasure. Amped Amy, thanks for the shout out. EA Sports in the game. How was everyone's Thanksgiving? Everyone have a good holiday? Sorry we had to take some time off. We're running around busy. Mark got a really cool time. I don't know if you guys saw. He was a machinist in Daytona. You should look back on some of his videos. He was playing live at the track in Daytona. Super cool. Machinist was there in person. So we've had Mark and Machinist together. We've had me, John, and Mark together. We need to get everyone together one of these days. But
how we do?
Practice
How we
room.
do?
How's it going?
All right, dude. I'm back with the ice. Sorry, y'all. I was running around like crazy earlier. I played an open mic tonight just before I got back here to film. So I've been all over the place. But I'm ready to make some cocktails.
People were saying crazy things and getting you and Mark confused, and me, and
That's what I heard last time. That's what I heard.
it was really weird. I don't know. We never said anything about that, but
Yeah.
that was just
It's all good. I'm sure we figured it out, right?
yeah. We're all good-looking guys. It's easy.
Yeah. It's easy to confuse us. So this pineapple margarita, we're going to start with our 3/4 ounces of lime juice. Boom. And we got 2 ounces of pineapple juice. Two ounces of pineapple juice. We've got 3/4 ounce of our dry orange curacao.
Curacao, that's that famous liqueur you always use.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff, man, especially in the margarita. And I also got some Reposado tequila I'm using here. We're doing 2 ounces of the Reposado tequila. You can use Blanco if you like that better. I like the Reposado because it just gives you a little more aged barrel note on that tequila, right? Now,
Billy, hello.
oh yeah, a little igloo action. Gonna fill that shaker tin to the top with ice as always, and we're gonna go ahead and ice our glass. All right, that glass is iced. That shaker tin is iced, and we're gonna shake.
Get your timers out.
Seconds as always. Go ahead and time me. I'm gonna try to count accurate. Well, second.
How do we do, chat? How do you do with the
I don't know.
time?
It's hard to keep it accurate, you know, in your head. And with our shaken cocktails, guys, as always, I like to double strain with your basket and your Hawthorne strainer just to strain out all those chunky little ice bits. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Anthony Marzella says 11 seconds, 0.7835.
Oh, I was off by a hair. We were close.
About 2.175.
Guys, that's the pineapple margarita. You can garnish that with a lime wheel. You can salt the rim if you like, sugar the rim if you like a sweeter palate, whatever you prefer. I'm going to taste this and see how we did. It's got a nice froth on it, nice body. That's why that shake is so important, to get a good hard shake. It properly dilutes the cocktail to that 25% dilution that you look for. And it does enrich a cocktail with the proper body. Always shaking our cocktails with citrus in it. Always stirring our cocktails that have no citrus in it. There are some exceptions, but usually that's the rule.
Cheers. I'm jealous. I need one of those. I should have came over for this one.
Yeah, man. It's refreshing. It's acidic. That pineapple comes through. That dry orange curacao gives it a nice kind of dry, briny note on the back end. This is really nice. I could honestly probably use like a touch more sweetness if I was going to be a real stickler about this one. I would love a 1/4 ounce maybe of like simple syrup or demerara syrup in it. However, I do think this is super enjoyable, super refreshing. You're sitting outside by the ocean, or you're about to listen to one of the members of the Coral Reefer band.
Oh, man.
I think you're going to be quite happy with this cocktail and sitting here and sipping on this.
Now, what about using a pineapple garnish?
Yeah, completely. You could use pineapple garnish. Only reason why I didn't do that this time is because I bought pineapple juice as opposed to actually juicing the pineapple myself, which I would usually do.
Yeah.
And then you can garnish with the pineapple. What I like to do is pull those little green leaves off the top, and you stick one of those down in the cocktail, and it just looks super classy, super pretty. And that's kind of a cool little garnish there as well.
Yeah, I was going to salt the rim of it, but I just can't find my lost shaker of salt.
Oh, that was smooth, dude.
Salt.
That was smooth, man. Now, I finished up here a few minutes early. I know Mark and Roger will be ready at 9:30.
Yeah, we're just excited. We're excited to get the new guests out here.
We are super excited, and
I really rushed in mine too. So
I don't want to rush them, so we can hang here for a minute, and you guys can give me the thumbs up whenever you're ready. I'll roll out the red carpet for you.
Oh wow. Let's see what's going on in the chat.
Yeah.
Here.
What do we got?
Hypeful Priestess is here. She says, I need some pineapple Rita in my life.
The pineapple Rita, baby. Super nice. Super cool cocktail to do little riffs on, You see them all out whenever you go to a good like tropical beach bar, or like a good Mexican joint. Honestly, a good Mexican restaurant makes the best margaritas. The ones that come in those big bowls, I don't think you can beat those margaritas. Every one, the flavored ones, the OG ones.
What's the one in Jupiter there?
Whatever. Oh, the practice room. Hey.
Like
pineapple
other
makes everything taste good.
Oh man, like pizza.
It does. Fill out the sum.
What do we all think? What do we think? Pizza can have pineapple? I'm a big fan.
See, I'm traditionally a no pineapple on pizza person.
That's because you're Italiano.
Yeah. I know that's going to divide the room a bit, but I saw on the Joe Rogan podcast recently, he eats pineapples and anchovies on pizza.
Yeah, I guess salty and sweet. Yeah.
And which it makes sense. I honestly would like to give that a try. I really, really would. Because that one, seems like it'd be nice.
Oh, and big congratulations on John. He is an uncle.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, last time we met, he was his little nephew was still in the oven. So
that's true. I am officially an uncle for the first time, and super proud of my sister, my brother-in-law, and my new baby nephew. Man, it's a cool, exciting journey.
Yeah, I actually got to meet Hunter yesterday for the first time.
Oh, did you?
At a Mexican restaurant for Taco Tuesday, and he drank margaritas. So.
Oh man, that must have been his first Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, he was down in the tacos.
Congrats, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, he's a cool little dude. He's fun to hang around. He's only, I don't know, I think he's 3 weeks old this Monday, maybe 2.
Yeah, he was chilling. He was very good. Didn't cry or anything.
Dude, such a chill little baby, man. So quiet, doesn't cry much.
Yeah,
he's a cool little dude.
Yeah, I think Christy cries more than him.
Maybe.
was gonna say Brandon. I'm like, I'm not gonna throw Brandon under the bus. The bus.
Yeah, no. No. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the congrats. It does feel good. It feels cool. Let's see, man. I think they're still getting ready there, but that's okay. You know, we're hanging out. I hope everyone had a good holiday week for those of you that celebrate Thanksgiving. You know, it was a cool week. It was fun.
Oh yeah. I had my cousin and uncle and all them down. We were paddleboarding, e-foiling. We had all the good stuff for turkey.
Yeah. Nice, dude. Nice. How's the paddleboarding stuff going? I know that's newer to the business.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's been like so busy lately. Every weekend there's something.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I think the sunset tours are where it's at. Doing a lot of sunset tours.
Awesome.
Which has been beautiful sunsets here lately. The weather's been awesome here. It's like,
I'll tell you what, Steven. I feel like I see them all on camera. I wanna roll out the red carpet, man. We got, along with the Mark Mara host, we have the original guitarist from the Coral Reefer band. We have Roger Bartlett, and we also have Honeybee with us.
Waving smile.
This is awesome, man. Here they are. What's up, guys?
John, would you believe it?
I honestly don't.
Sitting next to Roger Bartlett, the original guitarist of Jimmy Buffett's and the Coral Reefer band here on Guitars and Cigars. We make promises and we keep promises.
Wow, there he is.
I don't know how you guys did it, but you guys are here, man. This is awesome.
Roger, I'm a big fan.
And
well, it's my house.
This is set that we paid to rent.
That is awesome, man.
We are blessed here with Roger Bartlett and Honeybee.
Yeah.
Her co-singer. And Roger Bartlett is going to do a few original songs for us. He's going to tell some stories. And he's
Aren't
going
all
to...
songs original?
He's got me there.
I agree.
Roger, you can't make me look stupid on my own show.
Sure,
Yeah, just did.
Can't make it so easy for him.
so
Roger.
easy.
Well, why don't you start us off with one of your songs,
Okay.
and then we'll get into a little story time, and it's the tell-all, and we'll go from there.
All right. This is a song from my new album, The Spice of Life, that's available on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever, all the streaming services out there. Deezer, YouTube, whatever.
Everything.
This is called Enjoying a Beautiful Day. I've been whistling a tune with a grin, hoping this day won't end. I've been singing a song in my mind, singing I feel fine. I should be doing whatever I'm doing today, riding the wind. Pretty soon I'll be flying away. Yeah, enjoying a beautiful day. Enjoying a beautiful day. Why don't you come along for the ride? We'll have some fun outside. Picnic time in the grass, beneath the trees. We'll doing whatever we're doing today. Riding the wind, pretty soon we'll be flying away. Yeah, enjoying the beautiful day. Enjoying the beautiful day. At the end of the day, you can bet we'll wanna watch sunset. Watch the day turning into the night. Such a lovely sight. We should be doing whatever we're doing today. Riding the wind, pretty soon we'll be flying away. Yeah, enjoying the beautiful day. Enjoying the beautiful day.
Enjoying a beautiful day. From Spice of Life.
Spice of Life, yes.
We have your link dropped right now. It's on your website. You can find Spice of Life, your album.
It's on Apple Music, on all these streaming services.
Check it out. Check it out.
Yeah.
Check out his new album. When did you release that?
July.
Okay.
It was my birthday, I think.
I
As
did
it
it for
happens.
her birthday.
It happens.
That is the sweetest birthday present
Right.
ever.
That's what I
That was
thought.
nice.
Well done,
You're
Accidental.
man.
enjoying a beautiful day.
He's the man.
You think it would get me somewhere?
Well, so we'll leave that conversation for Mark after dark, where
My
we can
brother
dive
is
into
out
all
there. Hi,
those.
David. He's watching.
Shout out to David Kife.
David May.
Oh, David May. Okay, we got a David Kiefer watching, but shout out to David May, Honeybee's
what's up? And
Honeybee's
Lisa.
brother, and Lisa. Say hello. And Roger's thousands of fans watching
That's
as well.
Jeff
And,
Wedge
we want
says he has the CD signed by the master.
Who said that?
Jeff Wedge
Jeff Wedge has that
Wedge,
CD.
Yeah, Jeff. how
says
you
he has
doing?
your CD. Yeah,
Shout out to Jeff Wedge.
awesome.
All right, so the people probably are want to know at this point. We're sitting in front of some very shiny objects. If we just click around a little bit here, we'll see some platinum records and gold records. Tell us about it.
Well, the one on the bottom is from the movie Urban Cowboy. I played on the kind that Jimmy Buffett did in the Urban Cowboy album. The guitar player who was, I had already left the band by then, and the guitar player who was in the band was having some health issues, and he didn't play well on the session. And they called me up and said, can you play on this? And I said, sure. And they sent me the track, and I worked up a part, and they flew into New York. And I went down to the Automat recording studio, which is right in Times Square. And the engineer was Elliot Shiner, the same engineer who'd done Steely Dan
Wow.
and Fleetwood Mac, and some other bands that you may not have heard of.
Not familiar with those.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that's where that platinum record's from. And then the two right here are gold and platinum for the Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes album that Margaritaville is on.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
that was also after I left the band. The guitar player that replaced me was having some health issues.
Go on.
and they called me up. Well, he had some legal problems too. He got arrested, and they said, "Hey, can you fly down here and finish the album?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So it was
that
at
Criteria?
Criteria Studios in Miami,
Uh-huh.
and I flew down there and I walked into the studio, and the producer, a guy named Norbert Putnam, said, no, I don't think there's really anything we need you to play on. And I was like, what? He said, well, I'll play you some, see if you hear something on this song. He played me a song and said, I hear something. So I played on that song. It's called In the Shelter. And then after that, somebody broke out the baddest weed that you have ever smoked. And they said, hey, you want a little of this? I said, yeah, sure. Popped a beer, puffed the weed. And I was like, whoa. And then Norbert said, oh, yeah, there's one more thing I want you to play.
Yeah.
I was like, what? So I played on another song, but that didn't make the album. I was like, somehow that lick was already used. So
Yeah, that's
You're like, I swear, this just came to me.
yeah.
that was in New
Hey,
Jersey.
lightning can strike twice, right?
So I got when it went gold, Jimmy got everybody a gold album. When it went platinum, Jimmy got everybody a platinum. So that was his first gold and platinum.
So are there what audible parts of Changes in Latitude can we hear that you played?
I played the lead guitar part on In the Shelter.
Okay.
For I was in the band just months prior to that, and we were already doing all those songs, but I left the band because I was about to spontaneously combust, and thought I better get away from the fire before I went up in smoke, and so we were already doing all those songs. We were doing Margaritaville too, but I didn't really remember doing Margaritaville when Ryan White, the guy who wrote the book, Jimmy Buffett, A Good Life All the Way, he said, did you play on Margaritaville before it was recorded? And I said, I don't remember that song. He said, you did. I've got a tape of you playing that live at the Roxy in Los Angeles. I said, oh, okay. And the bass player, Harry Daly, I always said that, this was my lick, for Margaritaville. He said, oh, that's your lick. And I was like, nah, I don't remember that song. And then he put the tape on, and I was going, that is my lick.
Have you all heard that one? We're with the man who made the lick for Margaritaville.
That's where my vast fortune comes from today.
Wow, that is amazing.
So,
Speaking of records, I know I showed you this before, but yeah, I have the Abandoned Daydreaming record here, and when Mark told me you were going to come on the show, I just opened it up, and really cool. The first thing I saw here, and the list of the Coral Reefer band there, if you guys can read it, we got Roger's name right there, lead guitar right under Jimmy. I don't know if my camera's picking that up.
And he's on Guitars and Cigars this very moment.
Pretty cool.
And that was
I get to sign this when I come visit Mark. So
He wants a signed copy.
The first album that I ever heard myself play on the radio. I was driving around in Nashville in my car, and Havana Daydreaming came on, and I'm playing the solo on that, and it started playing on the radio, and I was like, that's me. That's me. I like pulled the car over to the side of the road and rolled down the window. I was like, hey, come over here.
And did they believe you?
They did at that point in time.
Yep.
People still believe me in those days.
So speaking of Nashville, this is where you met Jimmy. This is where you had
the first time I met him was in Nashville at a club called the Exit Inn. I opened for him, so we interacted a little bit backstage, but not. It was like one gig one night, and then I didn't see him till a year and a half later, and I was in Austin, Texas, and he came down, and I was in the band that was opening for him there, and in those days people would do like a 3 or 4 night run, like a Wednesday through Sunday, or Thursday through Sunday or something like that. And I think on the last night of the run, I was talking to him backstage, and I said, you need a guitar player. Me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, come on up, sit in on the next set. I mean, this was like a listening club. In those days, they stopped serving drinks when the band played because they didn't want to make noise to distract people from the music.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, come on up, sit in. And so, I got up there and I kind of watched his hands and played the chords that he was playing. And when he sang, and I tried to make a harmony like, come Monday.
Yeah, right.
Come Monday. And he hired me. And the next thing I knew, we were in Los Angeles at the Troubadour opening for a guy named Hoyt Axton. Do you know who Hoyt Axton is?
I've heard of him.
He wrote Joy to the World. It was
Mhm.
a big hit for Three
Three
Dog
Dog
Night.
Night.
Yeah. And he wrote
Shambhala.
Greenback a Dollar
I'm not
that
the
the Kingston Trio did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Back in the folky days.
Uh-huh.
And his mom wrote Heartbreak Hotel that Elvis did.
Is that right?
Right.
No,
May Axton.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, we I was pretty overwhelmed by that, being in the Troubadour there in LA. And then the next thing I knew, we were on a plane with Three Dog Night touring New England.
Mm-hmm.
We played the Music Hall in Boston, and played Rochester, New York. We played Bangor, Maine, and there was a huge, like a 40-foot statue of Paul Bunyan outside of the stadium that we played.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought Paul Bunyan was Canadian.
Was he? I think he was.
Yeah, I thought he was too. I was
So what is he doing in Bangor,
It's like,
Maine?
yeah, what are you doing in Maine, Paul?
They should have put your statue.
He wanted to see some
Well,
music.
mine's considerably smaller.
No.
So cool.
So, but we had some really great times then, and with the passing of Jimmy here recently, and then just on Thanksgiving, the passing of Greg Fingers Taylor, the harmonica player who was in the band. I really think back about those days, and think how magical everything was.
Mm-hmm.
And, Jimmy was not really famous yet. He was just coming up, so he could still walk through town. We ran through airports. He was a late person,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd like run through the airport. They didn't have TSA back then, and we get there just before they closed the door to the plane and barely make the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had some great times. We flew Buddy Holly Airways many times.
Buddy Holly Airways.
Yeah, small plane.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, I gotcha. Gotcha. I have not heard that term before.
Well, it's my own term.
Oh, okay, well, that might be why.
A small kind of puddle jumper,
I got
thing. We did college gigs, and we played college coffee houses, and we did kind of a circuit where we play the Paul's Mall in Boston, and Passim's Coffee House in Cambridge, the Quiet Night in Chicago, and the Boarding House in San Francisco, the Troubadour in LA, Castle Creek down in Austin, and the Great Southeast Music Hall in Atlanta. And then we come down to Florida, and I remember that we came down here, but very little of what went on once we got into Florida.
Right.
Wonder why that was.
Wasn't there a boat party?
Oh, well, we came here to St. Pete in 1975,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a big party on a paddle wheel boat that they had here at the time called the Tom Sawyer,
Mm-hmm.
and we all got out there, and
Hosted by Joe Nuzzo.
hosted by Joe Nuzzo.
Suncoast Surf Shop.
Yeah. And, everybody got so drunk, and there was a big storm out there. So the boat was rocking, everybody was drinking. And the next day they found two girls passed out under a table, and they had to call the paramedics to take them in, and when I came down here to live, people were like, "Hey, do you remember that night?" And I was like, "Was I there? Did I do that?"
So these are some of the things that led up to your spontaneous combustion. You have all
Yes.
these parties. You're partying with Jimmy. What was it like being backstage before a show and people trying to come on and see there? So was there ever an instance where a woman would go to Jimmy and be like, "I'm trying to get to Roger Bartlett"?
No, no. There were many instances where the women would use me to get to Jimmy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what would an interaction like that be?
Well, she would be smiling and nice to me until he came into the room.
Oh, is that right?
Or I would go out to get a drink for both of us, and when I got back, I was like, "Where'd everybody go?"
I got you. So you,
but it wasn't. It was other people in the band they were on the lookout too. So especially Fingers. Fingers was like the biggest bag magnet you ever saw.
Is that right? And he was a harmonica player.
He was a harmonica player. Women flocked to him like you wouldn't believe. He would be in one town, with a beautiful girl, and talking on the phone in front of this girl to another girl in the next town, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be there. I'll meet you." And this girl was okay with it, just as long as,
What year is this?
This was like 1975, 76, 77, 78, something like that. After I left the band, Fingers came to New York to visit, and he was staying with a beautiful girl who was like a Christy Brinkley looking girl. You know who Christy Brinkley is?
Wow.
She was a beautiful model. She was married to Billy Joel.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful blonde girl, blue eyes. And so I went down to her apartment in the Village where Fingers was staying. And I said, "Hey, man, great to see you." And he said, "Hey, we got to go over to her boyfriend's apartment to get her stuff." I was like, "What?" So it's okay. He's not there, So we go through the Village to this apartment there, and she has a key. She lets herself in, and we go in there. And I'm looking around the room, and there's all these posters of a boxer, a blonde boxer, and I say, who is this boxer? And she says, "Oh, that's my boyfriend. He's the light heavyweight champion of the world." I was like, "Fingers, we gotta go, man. We gotta go.
We got the hell out of here."
Yeah.
Oh, man. So you're going around on tour buses, and then what do you call the Buddy Holly
Airways.
Yeah, so there'll be a mode of transportation. So you bring these people onto groupies onto the boat, the bus and the airplanes.
Groupies on the bus. Yeah, we did.
So what were those like? Was like stage?
Those were the good old days, man. A girl would you'd take a break, and a girl would meet you backstage and say, "Let's go to the bus." You go out to the bus in between sets.
And then you
guys
guys
go back and play the second set.
I'm learning a lot tonight.
Yeah.
They were really great days.
Yeah. And you
I have a question, if you don't mind.
I think someone said they had a question.
Oh, yeah. So, Roger, I was doing a little research, and I saw a lot, and it might have been just they were bragging about Key West and all that. But the three of us, we go to Key West a lot, and we love a lot of the bars. Now, did you guys spend time touring there, or is that the beginning of the band? You guys were in a lot of those bars on Duval, or is that just kind of like an urban legend because Jimmy is associated with Key West so much, or how that?
No. We go down to those bars on Duval, yeah.
Yeah. Is that where you guys started playing, or
what?
Is that where you started playing?
Not really. No, not really playing those bars because we were playing bigger concerts, colleges and like we played the Guinness World Records beer drinking weekend in Bozeman, Montana, where it was out in like a rodeo arena, and you paid a flat fee, and they didn't give you a mug. You got a pitcher, and they had kegs placed all around, and it was us and Hart and Jerry Jeff Walker and Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and
wow.
And I almost got into a fist fight on stage with the drummer at that thing.
Of which band?
Of Nitty Gritty?
Coral Reefer Band.
Your own. What was that interaction about?
Well, the drummer was new, and we'd been on the road for about 6 weeks, so everybody was kind of tired and strung out.
Yeah.
But he was new in the band, and I was sort of the de facto musical director. I mean, in those days there was really no musical director, but since I was in the band before everybody else, I knew the songs, I counted everything else. So we got out there on the stage in the arena, and the guy says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band." And I say, 1, 2, and the drummer says, "Wait a minute."
Okay.
I was like, "What?" We're like in front of 5,000 people. Wait a minute. I said, 1, 2. He said, "Wait a minute." Like when we got back to the hotel, we squared off, and I'm not that
Confrontation.
troubling. When you look at me, you don't say, "Oh my God, I'm in trouble now." You say, "What?"
Jeff Wedge says, "Great man to organize the plan."
Oh.
Your buddy Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff Wedge is your buddy. Right?
Yeah.
So speaking of all these bands you just listed, I have a list here of all the bands you played with, on the same stage, and I assume this is who you were touring with and whatnot. So let me know if any of these are the bands you. The Eagles.
Yeah, we opened for the Eagles.
You opened for the Eagles.
Right.
What was that like?
Well, it was really great.
Yeah.
It was
How
really
many people in the audience?
we played one gig where there was 80,000 people in the audience.
Wow.
And you opened up.
And Jane Fonda was backstage. You know who Jane Fonda is?
Yeah.
Well, she
don't
was
know Jane Fonda?
Look up the movie Barbara.
Art, you don't know Jane
Oh,
Fonda?
she said Jane Fonda. No.
That was Jane
Can we
Fonda.
call Jane Fonda?
Stanley Bayless.
Shout out to Jane Fonda.
She got into political trouble, but she was a beautiful.
Yeah.
She's old, but she's still a pretty woman now. But she was
Roger,
just
was
dropped
she
dead.
one of the girls?
She was backstage flirting with
She
you?
was backstage at the gig. We were playing a No Nukes concert in Sacramento, and I found myself on stage. I looked over, and she was right where Honeybee is, and I was like, "Hi." She said, "Hi."
And she said,
Roger, was she one of the girls that with you between songs?
What?
Oh,
yeah, he said, was that one of the
The girls that met you between
girls?
songs there?
No,
Bus with?
it's one of the ones I wish for.
Jane Fonda. So you opened for the Eagles.
Well,
Where was that?
That gig was like the Eagles and Pablo Cruz. Do you ever hear of Pablo Cruz? And oh geez, I can't think of it. There was a whole bunch of people on that show.
Was it a show or was it a? It was
a No Nukes concert.
Oh, okay.
It was against nuclear power. People didn't,
Gotcha.
want to have like after 3 Mile Island. They were kind of like.
This is Los Angeles.
Yeah. Oh, Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So we played before we got the band. Jimmy and I played a festival in Oklahoma, just the two of us. We walked out on stage for a crowd of 135,000, and I'm glad I drank in those days. It's like George Goebel said. Asked George Goebel. They said, "Do you drink before you go on stage?" And he said, "You think I go out there alone?"
Holy cow. So you walk out on stage with Jimmy Buffett in front of 135,000 people,
Right.
and the dynamic is you're playing the guitar.
I'm playing acoustic guitar. He's playing acoustic guitar.
And so both of you are playing guitar and you're singing. It's
Right.
135,000 people.
Right.
And you're blitzed.
Yeah.
And so do you still feel nerves at that point?
Yep.
You do.
Yeah.
135,000 people watch. And then there's no drums behind you.
No.
So it's
No bass.
way more intimate. Every nuance of the sound is being heard by them.
Correct.
But you still did. That's amazing.
I believe I did. What I remember, I mean,
Unbelievable. James Taylor.
yeah, we opened for James Taylor. I
Opened for
remember
James Taylor.
we one gig we did with him. We drove all night. We did a gig the night before, and then we got on the bus. The bus driver drove all night. We pulled into the place at like 11 a.m. in the morning, and our set was at 1 p.m. So we got in there and got up, and everybody kind of tried to have some coffee or a little artificial inspiration.
Okay.
And get ready for the show. And James was there, and he was, Jimmy went back and hung with James, and the stars.
What, did you go with him?
No.
He didn't bring you with him?
No.
That son of a.
Well,
So did you meet?
we
Did you meet James Taylor?
Just passing
Just
by.
passing by.
We didn't hang out or anything.
Was this full band or was this acoustic duo?
No, this was full band.
This was full band. Okay. And so he would lead the band and he wouldn't invite the rest of the band backstage or.
I don't know. The band would go backstage, but James Taylor had a trailer.
Oh, I see. And then Jimmy would go visit James.
Right,
in the
in
trailer.
the trailer, right.
And he would be like, "Hey, Roger, let's go hang out with
No.
James." Well,
because James
That's
probably
son of a
didn't want to. James probably didn't want to talk to us. I mean, I did a thing where we had the full band and we were playing a gig in Vancouver, and Jimmy took me, and he and I went off to Portland, and we played a political rally for Jimmy Carter.
Mhm.
And the rest of the band went to Canada. And when they got to the border, they had to clean out the bus to get all the pot off the bus and everything. But I had left a pipe underneath my mattress, and they sent a dog in there. And
Oh my God.
they're like, "What is this?" They were like, "Not mine."
They all pointed at Jimmy.
Well, they pointed at me,
Oh shoot.
And is Jimmy on the bus with you?
No. Jimmy and I were in Portland. The band went to
Across the
on to
border.
Vancouver,
Oh, okay.
and then we flew up after the political thing. We played a show in the afternoon for Jimmy Carter. And then Jimmy went off with Jimmy Carter, and I went back to the bus with Ed Bradley, who pulled out a big rock of cocaine and sat down and said, "Oh, I'm almost out." I was like, "What?"
Oh my goodness. Jackie Wilson.
Jackie Wilson. I was playing at a Vegas style club in Dallas called the Losers Club, and Jackie was the headliner. And I did hang out with Jackie. He said, "Hey, you got some pot, man?" I said, "Yeah, I do." So we went out to the van and sat out there and smoked some pot. Talked.
And what was that interaction? What would you guys talk about?
Well, we talked about Greek mythology and quantum mechanics.
So deep.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's what I imagined you guys would talk about.
Yeah. No, it just was like, where are you going on tour? Where have you played? What's going on?
So when you meet with all these musicians, do you all talk just about music, or are you guys just talking about everyday life?
Generally when you're on the road and you meet people, everybody's got, I got to go set up, I'm tired. I got to, rest out before the show, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hart, you mentioned Hart earlier.
Hart was at the Guinness Book of World Records beer drinking weekend.
Mm-hmm. So what was that? Well, everyone's just absolutely.
They were not
sloshed.
famous yet, They were not. They had.
This is when Hart was on the come up.
Yeah. They didn't have Barracuda or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They were just a band with two girl singers. And I was like, oh yeah, they're pretty good,
Yeah. What year is this?
It's like 1976 or something like that.
Okay. And you mentioned Nitty Gritty Band. You played with Nitty Gritty Band.
Yeah.
This is one of my. I want to know about the Doobie Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Well, we did a little tour with the Doobie Brothers, and Skunk Baxter was in the band then. You know who Skunk Baxter is?
Hey,
I know.
no.
He played guitar for Steely Dan too.
Oh neat.
Oh.
Very, very like I can't, he played some iconic solos.
Mm-hmm.
But he was with the Doobie Brothers then, and we did a few gigs with them, and they had their bus and we had our bus. And I remember we played one gig, and Skunk stole this guy's girlfriend, took her onto the bus, and the guy found out where the hotel was that the bands were staying, and he rushed to the hotel. And when Skunk pulled up with the girlfriend, he was waiting there,
Uh-oh.
and boom.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you got in there and backed him up, right?
No. I said, too bad.
Charlie's Daniels Band.
Charlie Daniels Band, they were at that festival with 135,000 people, but we also played with them at a big thing in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
It was Charlie Daniels and Willie Nelson and maybe Jerry Jeff was there too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who else.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so was that the Nuke festival?
No, this was just a festival,
Gotcha.
And we played, the Willie Nelson 4th of July picnics.
Mhm.
Wow.
We played, I think the second and third, and the first one, I was not working for Jimmy yet, and I spent the first one on the hood of a car tripping on mushrooms. After a 3-day drunk in San Antonio, I
Uh-huh.
came back and they're like, "Oh, Roger's too drunk. Here, give him some mushrooms."
Did the trick.
It did. Well, put me. It sobered me up, but put me into another world.
And that's when you wrote the Margarita riff.
That's right. What? I didn't even know Jimmy then. You know, so, hey,
Someday.
Wait, someday
yeah,
this guy.
I'm going to use this. in
This
something.
guy.
Roger, out of all the people that you played with in all those bands, who did you connect with the most? Who was your favorite to play with? I mean, obviously the Coral Reefers and Jimmy, but like of these other bands that you played concerts with, like, yeah, who was your favorite and who did you connect with the most?
Well, Jerry Jeff's band, the Los Gonzo band, you know, they were out of Austin, and I lived in Austin before I went to work for Jimmy, and the guy that I was doing an acoustic duo with down there, a guy named Bill Callery, wrote a bunch of songs that Jerry Jeff recorded, and so and the Los Gonzo band recorded one of my songs, and so we used to hang out with them. I would hang out, you know, for as many days as I could, but Jerry Jeff I couldn't go past 3 days, but Jerry Jeff could keep going, you know, and I'd have to cash it in, you know.
Mhm.
Some of those people could party for weeks. You know, I remember, do you know who oh, I can't think of his name. Maybe it'll come to me in a minute. I get off into these things. He wrote Poncho and Lefty.
Was that Chris Christopherson?
No. Towns Van Zandt.
Oh, Towns Van Zandt.
Towns Van Zandt. One night at a place in Austin called the Saxon Pub. After hours, we were back in the back playing craps with his dice, and he lost all of his money to me, and he even lost the dice. And I was like, "These are my lucky dice," and I kept playing, and I lost all of my money, and I lost the dice. I said, "No, they're his unlucky dice."
This is Towns Van Zandt's dice?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So were you guys interacting well, or was it when you guys, because dice was before my time, so do you converse and did you get to talk with him? And,
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah, and so what was he like?
Well, he was a wastrel just like everybody else, you know, and nobody knew that anybody had a problem because everybody had a problem.
Yeah.
There pretty much.
It was like the
Sounds
normal
like a
people
song
who
right
were
there.
healthy and sober had the problem.
Right?
You're just so surrounded by.
I didn't know any people that were healthy and sober.
Was that
That'd be a good line in a song there. No one knew they had a
Speaking of songs, the people would love to hear some more originals.
All right.
And
Well, here's a Jimmy Buffett song that I wrote. This was on the A1A album. You know, when I first went to work for him, he said, "Roger, come in, play me some songs, and you know, see, I'd like to put one of your songs on the album. Let me see what you got." And so I went in, I played him a song I had written called "A Buccaneer Looks at 39." And he's like, "No, that's not too good, you know." And then so I played him another one I wrote called "I Wish I Had a Handlebar Mustache." He was like, "No, that's not really gonna get it." So I played him this song. It's called "Dallas."
There you go.
He liked it. And he put it on the A1A. If you ever get the chance to go to Dallas, take it from me, pass it by. 'Cause you'll only sing the blues down in Dallas. Take it from me, don't go and cry. And I'm leaving this town as soon as I can. Gonna stop off for a while and see my woman. Yeah. People do you wrong down in Dallas. I know well, they've done it to me. Stealing all your bread, they're so callous. I know well, just look and see. And I'm leaving this town as soon as I can. Gonna stop off for a while and see my woman. Yeah. cards in a hurricane. It was hard to stay. Calm down and lose your mental balance. Look at me, half crazy now. Talking to chairs, a stranger out of nowhere. Look at me, I'm doing it now. And I'm leaving this town as soon as I can. Gonna stop off for a while and see my woman. Leaving this town as soon as I can. Gonna stop off for a while and see my woman. Yeah.
Beautiful. Y'all sound great.
Beautiful song.
Y'all sound very good.
It's nice to have Honeybee here singing with me.
Yeah, Honeybee. We didn't know about Honeybee.
Oh, I'm
Tell the
just,
people.
I grew up here in St. Petersburg, and I sang in a lot of bands back in the old days, like at the Quarterdeck Lounge. Some people remember that. I used to play in a band called Devastation with one of the folks that's in a band now that's very popular around here called the Black Honkies.
Mm-hmm.
I played with John Dash Dixon. He's a keyboard player. And I've just been doing music my whole life.
How did you two get linked up?
Well, I was playing guitar with Fleetwood Mac,
Oh.
and
And I had just quit
the girl
band.
singer just
Right.
left, and so
No, actually, it's kind of a funny story. I was at Grapes Wine Cafe doing a Radio St. Pete show, and I walked out, and Roger was walking down the street with a guitar on his back, and I'm kind of a guitar junkie. And I said, "Hey, show me what kind of guitar you have." And so next thing you know, we're sitting on the park bench, and
I said, "Oh, you mean the guitar?"
and we started singing, and he goes, "Okay, are you ready?" And I go, "Ready for what?" And he goes, "We're on the air in 5 minutes." So that's kind of been a tradition that we find ourselves doing these things.
And we just did a Radio St. Pete thing yesterday.
Yeah.
What are those?
Radio St. Pete is an FM station here in town. It's a not for profit kind of thing.
Okay.
Kind of like the music business.
They're very generous nowadays.
96.7 FM.
Yeah.
RadioSt.Pete.com.
Local artists on there.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Is it, the guy's name is Jay?
Jay Kolb.
Jay Kolb. Yep. He does the open mic night sometimes at the Northern Dab House.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Well, enough of me talking. We got 2 more songs from you.
Okay.
If you'd be so generous.
All right. Since St. Pete is the sunset capital of the world, I used to sit out on the beach at the Paradise Grill and think, well, what song will I sing when sunset comes? And I think, well, here comes the sun. No, it's there goes the sun. So I went through a bunch of things, and finally I just wrote one.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is it. It's called Sunset. Watch the sun go down. Slip into the bay. While the world spins round, it happens every day. Golden colors turn to red, then to blue, then to gray, while the spirits of the night chase the light away. And sunset, sunset, and sunset, sunset, just to see the show. They don't make a sound while the sun sinks low. Golden colors turn to red, then to blue, then to gray, while the spirits of the night chase the light away. At sunset, sunset, at sunset, sunset. When the shadows fall, the stars begin to rise. Hear the moonlight call. There's stardust in your eyes. Golden colors turn to red, then to blue, then to gray, while the spirits of the night chase the light away. At sunset, sunset, at sunset, sunset.
While the spirits of the night chase the light away.
Isn't that nice?
Beautiful.
Thanks.
It's a good song.
I wrote that.
That was
He
awesome.
really
That's
did. He really did.
Yeah.
You wrote? That's a great song. That's a
So
great
we
song.
can find that on
I lie so much.
Spotify, huh?
I know. I don't even know what to live anymore. Is that from Spice of Life?
Actually, that's from my album Sunset.
Sunset. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
You have quite a few albums, right?
how many albums you got?
Abbey Road, Dark Side of the Moon.
I haven't heard of any of these, Roger.
No.
You're just making those would be great album names, though.
Yeah, were they? No, I've got since I got to town, I've done 2 albums, 24 new songs in the past 3 years.
Oh.
So it's really been a great place creatively for me down
Mhm.
here in St. Pete.
Something in here. John Prine lived here.
Yeah.
How did you wind up in St. Pete?
I have a friend named Pete Merrigan who lived down here, and
Shout out to Pete.
I when I first met him, he lived in New Hampshire, and I used to go up and play gigs with him up there. And then he moved down here, and he said, "Come down and visit." And I came down to visit. He said, "This is St. Pete, beautiful place." I said, "Oh, I like it. I've been in New York City for 40 years, and I was kind of aging out of the music scene there. The gigs were mostly free gigs for people who thought they would become famous at some point. And, you're probably not going to hear like 103-year-old man gets record deal.
You're only 103.
I'm only 103.
Looking good.
Thanks.
Looking good.
So I came down here and I liked it. Although, when I first got down here, occasionally I look around and say, "How did I get here?" But I've really come to love St. Pete.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
Great. Yeah. And where were you when you wrote Sunset?
Here
Well, I mean, but specifically, we're in St. Pete.
at the Paradise Grill.
Paradise Grill.
Actually, there. Yeah.
That's what the thing was for.
And then
Yep.
you just had a successful tour in Key West.
I did.
Right?
Tell them about it.
Well, we went down. We played Dylan's Draft House in Naples to a packed crowd. Had a great time. It was me and Honeybee and a violin player named Emily Randall, who's a virtuoso,
Yep.
and a bass player named Clee Lyles.
It's great.
And then we went from there to a sold-out house concert at the Drunken Octopus.
Yes.
And from there, we went to the Key West Theater for a sold-out show there. we played from 6 to 7:30, and Graham Nash played from 8 to 10.
So open for yet another big name.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he walked through the dressing room. I said, "How you doing?" He said, "Good so far."
What was this?
He just
just
make
gone.
eye
On a
contact.
mission.
He didn't even look at you.
No,
Man.
well, he's
Don't meet your heroes, people.
He didn't.
Unless it's Roger Bartlett.
He didn't want to make. You know, you don't want to make eye contact with people sometimes, because then you're going somewhere to
yeah,
do
you're
something,
right.
and
You experienced that with the autograph hounds and the paparazzis and
I do, and the college girls,
especially the college girls.
Yeah,
Like, hey, Roger, and you're just like,
that's right.
so far so good.
That's right. If that happened, I'd stop immediately.
So you
Roger.
said in an interview that if it wasn't for you, Jimmy Buffett would be a nobody. What did you mean by that?
No, really, the truth is, he did more for me without actually having to do anything than I ever did for him.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I would have never played any of those. I wouldn't play a gig for 135,000 people. I wouldn't played. I would have been on stage next to beautiful movie stars, or I wouldn't have met John Prine or Shel Silverstein or Steve Goodman or any of the people that I met in Nashville. And even after I left the band, just the fact that I played with him, did a lot for me, and he didn't really have to do anything to, for that,
So you used Jimmy.
After I left the band for many years, I didn't really bring the Jimmy Buffett thing up because I wanted to do something, of my own, and not use him as a prop. And there's so many fantastic musicians in New York, if I would go tell people, oh, I play guitar for Jimmy Buffett, then somebody would be like, well, I play guitar for Herbie Hancock,
Right.
Or I play guitar for Steely Dan, or, so it wasn't like, I was the only guy in town that ever played for somebody famous.
Mhm.
So, and, it didn't really, in New York City, it didn't really, swing that much weight for me. And I didn't really try to use it either.
Well, St. Pete's better than New York City. So,
Well, St. Pete, when I first got to town, I went to this place and I said, hey, I'd love to play your club here. I'm the original guitar player for Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer band. He was like, so?
Steven, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question. You were talking a lot about local artists there, and Mark's a local artist there. What advice would you have for Mark, a young artist, with his music career, and maybe you have a full career? Yeah, just what advice would you give him from your wisdom?
Well, the most important thing to me has been, over the years, the people that I have met, and everything has come through, someone that I met sometime or that I know from something, to show up at a publisher and say, unsolicited, I have some great songs. Will you listen to these? You might as well roll down the window of the car in the freeway and toss them out the window, because they're going to have that much impact. So, meeting people and networking is so incredibly important in the music business. And, they say, it's who you know, but it's not who you know. It's who you know who will help you out.
Yeah.
And, no one will help you out if it's not going to help them out. And, that's as it should be. Altruism is not big in any business, and especially the music business.
Mm-hmm.
Why should somebody expend their political capital for you?
Well, Jimmy did that for you.
He did. He did that for me. Yeah.
He
actually
recognized your talent. I mean, and that's why he wanted you in his band, obviously. So you helped him
Well,
out as well.
Either that or he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol.
No,
He's a
if I
Margaritaville.
say one thing, Roger is so disciplined. You practice hours and hours every single day still. And, I admire that very much.
How much?
Not enough.
Hard work and dedication.
All right.
All right, the lovebirds. And does anybody who is watching have we're running out of time here, but we got time for one more song, and maybe some people have some questions. So if you guys want to type some questions in here, let us know. But we'd love to hear the last song, Roger.
All right. What do you want to do?
Wheels turn.
All right. You know, I sit around the apartment and you know, sometimes things don't move fast enough for me. And I see something off down the road and, you know, and I'm like, come on, wheels, turn, you know, get this thing on, get on down the road so I can get to this next thing, you know, and you know, so I did, you know, come on, wheels, turn, you know, enough times that I just finally wrote a song. It's called Wheels Turning.
There you go.
Far never seems so near. There seems to be right here. Now feels like it did then. Where never told me when. But time and time again we climb, only to fall down. Up and down and round I hear the endless sound of wheels turning. Hot suddenly turns cold. Young keeps on getting old. Love can turn into hate. Say that it's not too late. But time and time again we climb, only to fall down. Up and down and round I hear the endless sound of wheels turning. Time and time again we climb, only to fall down. Up and down and round I hear the endless sound of wheels turning. Day soon becomes the night. Wrong battles what is right. Life cannot outrun death. I feel his icy breath. But time and time again we climb, only to fall down. Up and down and round I hear the endless sound of wheels turning.
Talk about having an existential crisis. Holy cow. You both sound awesome.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
So you were, the story is you were driving and you saw something off in the distance and you wanted to get to this thing and you couldn't get there. You're almost anxious to get to this thing and you couldn't get there enough. And then you conceptualized the song Wheels Turning.
Yeah.
That's how, what was the object?
Well, I mean, it's just, you know, whatever's good down the road, you know, it's like, you're like, wheels turn, $10 million. Wheels turn.
Yep.
hit record, wheels turn,
As it says,
beautiful blonde girl.
What the course is up and down we go again.
Up, time and time again we climb, only to fall down. And up and down and round, I hear the endless sound of wheels turning.
So it can be almost like interpreted as someone's just trapped in their head, talking about why do we even like bother climbing up? You know, what does that line mean to you? As what was the inspiration?
Well, I mean, you know, you constantly have to overcome obstacles,
Right.
You know, because you climb up and then you fall back, and you can't let the falling back, you know, keep you down. You got to climb again, you know. No matter how many times you fall back, you got to climb back up again.
And then what was that line? Good overcomes evil.
Well,
Sorry.
Overcomes hate.
Overcomes hate.
Like
Making you think about your own lips.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, I just kind of sing. It's like day soon becomes the night. Wrong battles what is right.
Wrong balance.
Wrong battles what is
wrong
right.
battles. What is right?
Yeah.
Life.
Life cannot outrun death. I feel his icy breath.
Ooh,
I like that.
I like that. That's great imagery too. The day and the night, and then the good battles the evil, and then you made that parallel in that one line, the light and day, and then life battles death's icy breath.
Yeah. Life cannot outrun
Oh, right.
death.
That's icy breath.
I feel his icy breath. Yeah.
And we do feel the cold in St. Pete this week. It's a
What are you trying to say?
whopping 64 degrees.
Are we trying to out? Is ice?
Elizabeth, I'm coming home.
Oh my goodness! Great song, Roger.
Thank you.
And honey.
We have a question from Jeff Wedge.
Okay.
He says, what do you do, Roger, when you're not playing or practicing? What are your interests or hobbies?
You know, I'm a huge reader. I'm always reading a book. You know, you never run into me that I don't have a book going on. And besides that, you know, I like science, and I like recording, and I like video. I do videos occasionally, and you know, I teach songwriting to college cheerleaders.
There you go.
And others.
Just kidding now. Just kidding, y'all.
Hey, well, I'll have to send Mark and he'll give it to you. I wrote a book actually, so I'll send that to you if you're a big reader.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
You wrote a great book called Fleeing Time On.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a lyricist, what is your biggest inspiration for your lyrics from an author?
You know, I was reading a Stephen King book,
Okay.
11/22/63, and in the book, the protagonist goes back in time to try to save Kennedy from being assassinated, and he doesn't get it done, and so he has to come back to the present. And when he comes back to the present, he sees, you know, all the things that his interactions in the past have caused, the butterfly effect. And so and every time he goes back into the past, it resets everything. So he gets to the point where he doesn't interact with anyone because he doesn't want to mess up the future. And at one point in the book, he says, you know, it seems like I've lost the habit of romance. And I was like, oh, I love that line, you know? So I wrote a song called The Habit of Romance.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So
and it's on the Spice of Life.
And that's from the Spice of Life. Beautiful. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out Roger Bartlett's Spice of Life album, available on all social media platforms, streaming music and whatnot. And then, are you on the album as well?
I
Miss
am.
Honeybee?
I'm on that first track, a second track.
Second
Yes.
track, which was
Enjoying a Beautiful Day.
Enjoying a Beautiful Day. Great song. Great song. But you
Edgar,
both.
what would you say? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was about to sign him off. Did you have a question, Stephen?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you have time for one more question.
Yeah, do you have time for one more
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yeah.
What would you say is the, you know, you're the most rewarding aspect to come out of your songwriting and music career?
The most reward? You mean the song that I made the most money on? Is that?
No. For you, like for your
We need dollar figures.
You know what? I had a song in the movie The Texas Chainsaw Massacre called "Fool for a Blonde," and that's made me a bunch of money here in the past few years. And the song that Jimmy Buffett recorded made me a bunch of money over the years. The "Fool for a Blonde" is making me more money now than Dallas is, because next year's the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay. So it's coming back.
Yeah,
Full circle.
people are listening to it. I'm getting thousands of streams, but I get like I just got 100 streams of something the other day, and I made a penny.
God bless you, Spotify. Thank you, Spotify. I think I know you got music business on your mind, Roger, but I think Stephen was talking about not necessarily dollar figures, but in terms of like the reward from what it is you've been doing as music as a career.
Yeah.
In terms of connecting with people. Obviously, you've had a lot of great stories that come out of this.
Musicians are the ones that I know anyway are generally kind of solitary people, and they tend to isolate themselves. And, so I think the most rewarding thing is, when you get to meet people who are incredible talents, people that you wouldn't meet in everyday life, or if you did meet them, you wouldn't know that they were that talented, because there's lots of people out there who are not famous, but are incredibly talented. I know songwriters who write, what I think of as hit songs, and they've never gotten a song cut, never made a royalty. Getting a song cut and getting on that royalty train is as much luck as anything else. Because you could have two songwriters and one will be a better songwriter than the other, but since this one has political connections, he gets his song cut and this guy doesn't. So it's like who you meet, who you hang out with.
Do you think there was any of that in play with Jimmy Buffett?
Well, I was in the band.
No. Well, I'm talking about with Jimmy's connections with all of his songs getting cut. Obviously, they were great songs, but you talked about one story when he was hanging out with Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter did a Jimmy Buffett album.
I can't get anything out of this guy.
It always helps out, if you hang around with Paul McCartney, Paul will come in and play bass on your album. Paul played on this last album that Jimmy did.
Mm-hmm.
If you hang around with James Taylor, James Taylor will throw some songs your way,
Well, but I'm talking about specifically when Jimmy Buffett was on the come up, and he's working to get these songs cut. Did he have these political connections?
Well, when I first went to work for him, he was managed by a guy in Nashville named Don Light, who was not a big manager, but he was pretty well connected in Nashville. But at a certain point, when the Changes in Latitudes album came out, Don Light was not on a level that would help Jimmy. So Jimmy became managed by the guy who managed the Eagles, Irving Azoff. Mm-hmm. And that made a whole lot of difference. Then he got into the Urban Cowboy. Then he got into that movie FM. He got into Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That movie with Sean Penn.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great movie.
Having the right manager, that doesn't make a big difference.
Yeah.
You got to find. It's about finding that balance. All right.
Right.
You have multiple Raven fans in here, but specifically this David May wants to have a drink with Roger Bartlett.
Wow. Who doesn't?
Come on down, David. Come on down.
Big Dama has a question there. If you have time, I don't want to keep it going. I know you got.
Yeah, do you have time for one more question, Mr.
Yeah,
Wallace?
sure.
I'm sorry.
Big Dama asked your favorite memory with Jimmy Buffett.
My favorite memory with Jimmy Buffett. That's pretty specific, and a lot of the stuff I don't remember. I like to tell people, a lot of the things I remember never happened, and some things that did happen I don't remember. But I think probably one of the best things was when I first went to work for him and found myself out in the Troubadour, with all these people hanging around. I mean, Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks were out there in the audience when we played one time, and going out and flying around the East Coast with Three Dog Night. When you get out with a band like Three Dog Night, who were just, at the top of their game at that point in time, and you're playing stadiums, we got out there and did 30 minutes.
That's a long time.
We played the music hall in Boston, and the promoter came back into the dressing room. He said, "Now I want you to be on by 8 and off by 8:30, because then the dog has to go on. The dog has got to be on by 9 o'clock, because we don't want the stagehands to go in overtime. So the dog has to be there." So I'll never forget that speech.
That's what is he? See, referring to Three Dog Night?
Yes.
Yeah. The dog. So what is that? I don't know.
That's Boston.
Boston accent.
The
Pretty
dog.
good.
The dog.
The dog.
The dog.
The dog.
So I mean, there were a lot of great things. A lot of great times to remember. We went to the Playboy Mansion one time.
This is what we're talking about. Here we go.
And in Chicago, went over to the Playboy Mansion. We were walking around there, and I started talking to one of the secretaries, and I was like, "Hey, come on down to our gig tonight." And she was like, "Oh, I can't do it." I said, "Oh, come on, you'll have a good." She said, "Oh, it's my boyfriend's birthday." I said, "Ditch him."
Do you know I'm Roger Bartlett?
Yeah. See, when you have to ask the question of, "Do you know who I am?"
You got a
No,
problem.
he
That's
said,
your
"Don't
first
you
problem.
know? Don't you know I'm Roger
Right.
Bartlett?" And then people want to know this, and this probably happened multiple times. You walk around and you're picking up chicks, and then they're like, "Hey," and then you pull out from your shirt one of the gold platinum records. And they're like, "Hey, check this out." You show it to
I
them.
don't know. I was on a flight the other day, and the flight got delayed, and so everybody had to rebook. And there was a big long line. I waited in line for an hour to get up to the desk to rebook my flight, and a guy broke in the line in front of me, and he was talking to the girl. He said, "I got to get out of here tonight, and I need a first class ticket." And she was like, "Sir, you got to get back in line." He said, "I got to be out of here tonight. I need a first class ticket." She said, "Sir, please get back into the line." He said, "Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?" She picked up the microphone. She said, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a man here who doesn't know who he is."
Oh my gosh. And jokes, stories, songs, Roger Bartlett has got it all.
The band. That's awesome.
All right.
So
Well-
we've been trying to all convince Mark to finally start recording his music. He does great on YouTube and all this. So can you explain to Mark the benefit of recording?
Don't make this
his-
about me in front of rock and roll royalty. We talked about recording in your studio, and I would love to take you up on that sometime and
Okay.
get you paid and whatnot.
Okay.
But yes, Steven's he's a dear friend of mine. He's been my best friend since 8th grade. He really wants me to see me push my music and get it out there. So
Well, you got to get it out there for anybody to hear it.
Exactly right.
facts, jokes, stories, music, and facts from Roger Bartlett, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
Well, when you're 103, you've been through a lot.
Yeah, well, you look good.
Thanks.
You look good. Well, thank you both so much for being a part of this. This is really awesome.
Yeah, I want to thank Honeybee so much
Oh,
for
thanks,
coming
you
down.
guys.
And
Yeah, Honeybee,
My
thank you
pleasure.
so
My
much.
pleasure. What a
Roger,
great
thank you so
experience.
much.
I hear new stories. I hear a new one every time.
Yeah, you've got great stories,
So it's
Roger,
great.
and it's really an honor to have you here.
I don't know
on our
that they're
show.
all true, but
We'll take what we can. Wait a
Thanks
second,
to
those
those-
platinum records are cardboard. I'm not.
Thanks to the audience as well. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, they love you. And Am Tammy says 103. You look better than some of my old classmates, and I'm 35, sir. She's watching. So people are watching this in Australia too. Am Tammy's.
Oh, wow.
She's watching in Australia, so which makes
get
us.
my album.
Yeah,
Very
Am
cool.
Am Tammy's wonderful. She'll definitely
Is
check out
anybody
Spice
on
of Life.
from Paris?
Is
Roger
anyone
wants to
watching-
play in Paris?
Anyone watching from Paris? Have you been to Paris?
He went to Paris.
You ever been to Spain? Do you kind of like
I
the
have.
music?
I did.
They say that, the ladies aren't insane there, but
They are.
they sure know how to use it. It's a $3.
I met a beautiful lady in Portugal named Catarina,
Ooh.
and I wrote a song about her on the Spice of Life.
Oh, hang on. We got more stories coming up here. I like the Playboy Mansion story.
Yeah.
What else went on in there? Tell us the deets.
Well, I can't get into it.
Oh, come on. This is it's now officially Cigars and Guitars After Dark.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so it's now
I told you she
PG-13.
turned me down.
Oh, well, that is
She had a boyfriend. It was his birthday.
the secretary. You went for the secretary.
I did. Well,
None of the playmates.
we got there in the afternoon. I guess they were all asleep.
Oh, man, that's their bedtime. But, all right, well, we don't want to take up any more of your time. Thank you both so much. I'm going to sign off here. Actually, John looks like he's having some camera difficulties. So, Stephen, we might just hit the band while Mr. Franklin gets that taken care of. But thank you both again so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Really,
Really fun.
it's really an honor.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Thank you so much, Roger.
Walter.
That was awesome.
All right.
It was my pleasure.
Yep. All right, and John's here. Looks like John's ready. John, you want to let him know about? We got the Margaritaville theme going on here.
We can do it. And Roger, Honeybee, thank you guys for coming on. It was just a pleasure listening to the stories and hearing from musicians that have had these great careers. It really gives the rest of us a lot of hope and a lot of drive, I think, to continue and keep pushing on. So thank you so much for all the wisdom and songs and everything you shared with us tonight. It's really awesome. That all being said, I'm going to show you guys another cocktail tonight. We are sticking with our Margaritaville theme. We're sticking with our tropical drinks, and I am going to show you a shaken pina colada. A shaken pina colada. I don't know why I can never remember the name. So this cocktail, just like the first one, we obviously have our pineapple juice that we still have right here. And I also have what I got from the store. This is cream of coconut. I traditionally like to use Coco Lopez cream of coconut, although I didn't see it in the store today, and I saw Goya had a cream of coconut, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Cream of coconut, different than coconut cream. It's sweeter, so it'll sweeten the cocktail up a little bit more. So make sure you get cream of coconut for this. And then we're going to use a nice aged rum. I personally like the aged rum versus silver rum, so I'm using this Bacardi 8-year rum. And we got some Angostura bitters, and we got our lime juice as well. Now, if you're into the frozen margarita, you could, instead of shaking this, take all these ingredients, add it into a blender with ice, blend it up, and now you got yourself a frozen margarita. I am, however, just going to shake it up. So we got our shaker tin right here. I also got my jigger coming for you. And I have my glassware. First things first, we're going to start with our lime juice. I need a 1/2 ounce of lime juice going on here. And I need a whole ounce of my pineapple juice. And I need a whole ounce of my cream of coconut. Let's see if I can get it to come out of this pour spout here, because it is thick. We're getting there. We're going. We're going. That's the whole ounce there. And let me go 2 ounces of my aged rum. This is going to be a booze bomb of a pina colada. I'm going to grab ice from my shaker tin. I'm going to grab ice from my glassware.
So, John, is the original pina colada? It's not frozen, or that's like most are frozen.
That's a question I don't have the exact answer to. I would imagine it probably started as like a shaken cocktail.
I feel like I've heard that.
And then they probably turned it into a frozen cocktail. I don't know many cocktails that start as frozen cocktails.
Sure. Margarita as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one you can make either way for preference. This is my first time making this. This is a recipe I just came up with earlier today. So I'm going to see exactly how it comes out right here with you and give you an honest opinion of what I got here. So shaking this for 12 seconds as always.
The time is up.
that was 12. I lost count somewhere in the middle.
All right, chat. What was he at? What was his time, official time for that shake?
All right. And we're going to double strain this cocktail as always. We got our rum, our coconut cream, our lime, our pineapple. Beautiful.
Amped Amy.
And the last thing I'm going to do with this one, guys, which I think is super cool, I'm going to take the Angostura bitters. Now, bitters all have a little bit different profile depending if you got Angostura, Peychaud, orange bitters, celery bitters, whatever. They're all going to have a different note on the nose and on the taste buds. Angostura primarily gives you somewhat like cinnamon, barky notes. You get a lot of other botanicals as well. That's the main note. So I'm just going to float a bunch of Angostura bitters right on top.
A perfect 12 on
Perfect 12. That's great for me losing count. I can feel it. So that is shaken pina colada there, a little Angostura topper. You could also garnish that with a pineapple wedge or a pineapple leaf or a lime wheel, whatever you want. I'm going to stick to it just like this, and we're going to give it a taste and see how we're doing tonight.
I'm jealous. That sounds awesome. Beverly loves a slice of grilled rum pineapple.
That, wow, that is super tasty.
Yeah.
You get the Angostura first on the nose. Again, I get the cinnamon kind of barky notes, a little bit on the taste buds as well. Then immediately that rum and that coconut really grabs hold. Perfect level of sweetness, I think. Nice balance with the acid of the lime and the pineapple. You serve me this poolside, beachside, at a resort, wherever, man, I would be happy to drink this. A little shaken pina colada right here, straight from Happiness Bar.
Oh, man.
And that is the second cocktail for tonight, y'all. I don't know if anyone's made it along with me, or maybe you write recipes down to save them for a later date. Either way, I hope you guys enjoy this. You know, we're popping out cocktails on Happiness Bar every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we're here pretty much most Wednesday nights doing the Guitars and Cigars thing. Making cocktails, music, cigars. This has been fun. Yeah, that's really good, dude. I'm going to have to make that for you next time I see you, because that's that's enjoyable. Wow. That was really easy to make too, guys. Especially if you already got the lime and pineapple juice already made.
I love pina coladas, but I usually think of the frozen one, and I always feel bad ordering it because especially it depends what kind of bar. If they have like
the bar, yeah. If they're like most bars that serve it like straight up serve it, they'll usually have that machine to pull to make it quick and easy.
Some of them it takes a while.
Yeah, I'm not usually a huge pina colada fan, but I'd much prefer to like just go. You know, I like rum daiquiris. I like when I was in Jamaica. I was on my honeymoon in Jamaica like a year ago, I think. 2 years? I don't even know anymore. Me and my wife were down in Jamaica, and we were drinking. What were we drinking? It was like rum cream.
Ooh.
If you have never had Jamaican rum cream, I highly, highly suggest it. It is so good.
Yeah.
It is just a great thing to sip on. Before you know it, man, you're just like slouching a little lower in your chair. And
there's this awesome, it's like a Christmas drink. It's like a rum cream. What's it called? It's like a Puerto Rican drink, and like cojito or something like that. Have you ever had that? It's like a rum cream with like cinnamon spices in it. They drink at Christmas.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name, but I think I've had it. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know the name off the top of my head, but yeah, that does sound good.
Mojito or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Well, that's all the cocktails I got for you today, guys. But if you're looking for cocktail recipes, check out Happiness Bar every Friday, 3 p.m. We got a new recipe. I do it all seasonally. So right now we're in the fall menu. This Friday drops a cachaça cocktail, which if you're not familiar with cachaça, is like a Brazilian rum, essentially made from sugar cane. It's aged in amburana, which is like hard Brazilian wood barrels. And I'm making it, I know it sounds crazy, but I'm making it with black grapes and basil, creme de cassis, grappa, lemon juice, cardamom. It's a cool cocktail, kind of some untraditional flavors in fall that you wouldn't think of that kind of come together and give you some cool fall notes.
Madeline, she reminded Coquito is the name of that drink.
Awesome.
Beverly thought I was talking about eggnog. But no,
Eggnog too, baby. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Amped Amy, buttered rum. I have, so this was in winter. I already filmed my winter episodes. In winter, I have 2 awesome cocktails I'm so excited to send out. I have the dopest eggnog you've ever had, which is like an eggnog-esque drink I make with aged rum, a Verna Amaro. I do a duck fat washed Grand Marnier, Chinese 5-spice syrup. It's nuts. Then I do a hot buttered rum cocktail with aged rum, and I make a butter compote with cinnamon and allspice and clove and all that stuff. It is so good. I've never had buttered rum before that. It is awesome. If you have not had a buttered rum, I highly suggest drinking it like throughout the winter. It's so good.
Okay. I might have to come over for one of those.
Dude, it's so good, man.
Wait, so the one you said there's duck fat in it?
Yeah, I have one called the dopest eggnog. That'll be coming out. I think that's my first winter cocktail. So the first week of winter, I've won. The cocktail's called the dopest eggnog you've ever had.
Yeah.
There's aged rum, Grand Marnier that I fat washed with duck fat, a Verna Amaro, Chinese 5-spice syrup. It's really cool. A whole egg is in it, a whole raw egg.
Dang.
It's a crazy cocktail.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's wild. But so we're here hanging, man. I think Mark is backing up, I'm sure, and saying goodbye to Roger and Honeybee.
Yeah.
I know he'll be back on
After dark.
Yeah, that's for sure, man.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to obviously check out John's page. He puts awesome cocktails out, but also was laughing at my dumb joke. I did a. Thank you for laughing. Oh, your dumb joke. I thought you said I did a dumb joke, Amy. But for Roger too. I mean, it's awesome that he came on and gave us his time. Stories. So check him out on Spotify and his website there. Show love and support, and that's how we can get some awesome guests here like Roger. Because I think that was so cool.
Dude, that was honestly, it was just awesome to hear again, like someone with his experience and background and the people he's played with, man. I mean, the Eagles, the Doobie Brothers, these are idols, man. And it's just cool to hear from a musician that's like traveled a journey with all these people and
he did it.
To hear his kind of outlook on the industry and writing and recording and just his recalling. Well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Just him recalling, stories of the past, that kind of stuff. It was fun. It's cool to listen to.
Yeah, what'd you all think of it, chat? What was your thoughts on Roger and his time here? I think it was great. I could do. We'll see what people say. I didn't want to be rude. Obviously, I hit the band a long time ago.
Yeah. Hey, if you're ready for a hit the band joke, man, I don't see why we delay that. Slay today, you know what I'm saying?
I did.
That's a recall.
We have a Reefer. We're all a bunch of parrot heads here. I would wing it and tickle your feathers with some parrot jokes. Ready?
Let's get it.
Jokes. All right, let's see. What do you get when you cross a parrot with a centipede?
Parrot with a centipede. I don't know.
A walkie-talkie.
Ha! Oh, shit.
What do you get when you cross a parrot with a pigeon?
Parrot with a pigeon?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Voicemail.
Voice? Oh, because pigeons are male. Okay. I get it.
Sad news, my obese parrot died today. Although, mind you, it's a huge weight off my shoulders.
The way you started that, I thought you were reading somebody's comment.
I'm
I
just
got
reading.
sad for a second.
I'm
And
not
I realized
reading.
it was,
This is from the website.
and I realized it was a joke.
A man in a movie theater notices what looks like a parrot sitting next to him. He says, "Are you a parrot?" Surprised, "Yes." And he says, "What are you doing here at the movies?" The parrot replied, "Well, I like the book." Yeah, it can't all be winners.
I don't know if I get that one.
I don't, yeah, I like the book.
I like the book.
What are you doing at the movies? I'm like, yeah, talking parrot, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
A
a
policeman in the big city stops a man in a car with a miniature parrot in the front seat. He says, "What are you doing with that parrot?" And he says, "You should take that to the zoo." The following week, the policeman sees the same man with the parrot again in the front seat, with both of them wearing sunglasses. The policeman pulls him over. He said, "I thought you were going to take that parrot to the zoo." The man replies, "I did. We had such a good time. We're going to the beach this weekend." Oh, man.
Let's see, Anthony. Someone has a joke here. Anthony Marzella. A pirate walks into a bar with a paper towel on his head. Bartender asks, "What's up with the paper towel?" "R. There be a bounty on my head."
Nice. Bounty man. Arr. Yeah, chat, let's get some jokes. It's been a couple weeks. I know you got some good jokes.
Yeah. So let's do it.
I like that, Anthony.
R.
Bounty. Arr, I got that bounty on my head. What else we got here from the parrot joke? Uh-oh. They're trying to get me with an ad.
Get you
All
with that.
A magician was working on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. The audience would be different each week, so the magician allowed himself to do the same tricks over and over again. There was only one problem. The captain's parrot saw the shows each week and began to understand how the magician did every trick. Once he understood how, and he started shouting in the middle of the show, "Look, it's not the same hat. Look, he's hiding the flowers under the table." And he says, hey, why are all the cards ace, the ace of spades?" The magician was furious and couldn't do anything. It was, after all, the captain's parrot. One day, the ship had an accident and sank. The magician found himself on a piece of wood in the middle of the ocean with the parrot, of course. They stared at each other with hate, but did not utter a word. This went on for a day, and another, and another. After a week, the parrot said, "Okay, I give up. Where's the boat?"
Okay. Big Dogman's got a joke. This is not a parrot joke. Man is being arrested by a female officer who informs him anything you say will be held against you. The man replies, "Boobs." I mean,
That's genius. Genius.
he's not playing the game. He's winning.
Oh, we got Wendy here. Wendy, you just got here. You yeah, you got to check out we had Roger on an original Coral Reefer.
Yeah.
Heard some great stories.
That's just cool, man. I'm going on second I get off here, and I'm picking up his album. So I want to hear what he's doing. I want to hear the original or the
I like
stuff.
the music.
That's cool. It is cool.
EB as well.
I was literally, before I got here, I was at an open mic night tonight. I was playing out in Delray.
Oh, nice.
And I went down, like I literally drove down early, got there right when the mic opened. I played, 3 songs, hopped back in the car, drove back up here, got here. I already had everything all set up, luckily. Got here just in time, clicked on, boom. That's why, partially why I forgot my ice earlier.
Oh, no, dude, that was great. Give me some time to talk to the chat. We missed them. I know the last show we did where you played we were kind of like all in character, so it's hard to talk to the chat.
Oh
And
yeah,
then we took a week off for Thanksgiving, so it's good to see everyone again.
it is. It is. It is.
Speaking of that, how'd it go? You released your song though. Yeah, I was
Dude,
listening.
it's been good, man. It's that one's out there now, and I've been trying to play it out live every week, just kind of get more heads on it, more ears on it. I have another one releasing December 15th, called Blend. I'm literally just going to be releasing original music every single month. I have like,
Cool.
I don't know, 17 or 18 originals written and ready to go, kind of. So I'm just recording and sending that out every month and seeing what happens, man. Putting it out there, you know.
Yeah.
Putting it out there.
Yeah, I like that. Was it The World Burns or something like that?
Yeah. It's a fun song, man.
Grit News says 2 parrots sitting on a fence, one named Pete and the other named Repeat. Pete fell off. Who was left? Repeat, I guess. The other one named Repeat. The other one named Repeat. Is that a period? Oh no, that's just dust on my. Wait, is that a period in between? Repeat was left.
But if Pete fell off, Pete and Repeat.
I guess he could just repeat it.
Yeah, he might. Might have no one left. He might have no one left.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we got Mark Mara coming back, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Mara. Where's he at? Mark Mara.
A big shout out to Amped Amy for this really cool guitar logo in the corner here. She made that.
Oh, sick. I didn't even see that. That's awesome.
Yeah. New little logo
Cigars
here.
and Cigars. I love it. That's sick. Thank you. There he is.
Hey. How you doing?
Mark.
Man, interviewing's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, man, you did great though, man. You were on it. You had some great questions and insight, and
For sure.
You know,
I appreciate y'all. There was one moment where
it's more of a listening game than anything.
when he was talking about playing in front of.
Uh-oh.
He freeze?
I think he froze.
Mark. At least
Mark.
it's a picture of him that froze.
It's a beautiful face, at least. Beautiful face. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's loading. Got to connect to that Wi-Fi, Mark.
Yep. Get on the wifey. Yeah, that was it was cool stuff just to listen to him, man.
Yeah.
It was.
I feel like there's
cool.
so much in there. It was like each one of those stories we could have like had a lot more time, but then we kept asking him questions, and it was like
but someone like that, you can listen to him talk forever. He could tell you stories forever, and you will just be entertained.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
He's an amazing storyteller.
I feel like
yeah.
you could have
I didn't-
literally all night. He would have.
I didn't want to take up too much of their time because all he's doing is talking about how much he loves that lady, and I'm like, well, I better get out of here. But like, he's
Are
just
they, like,
so
together? Are
funny,
they, like he's this far with her?
and he's such a good storyteller. And I like I said, I don't know. I think I cut out, but there was one point where I was sitting across from him, and he was literally talking about playing in front of 135,000 people opening for the Eagles, and I was like, I didn't even realize what I'm doing right now. And then Steven, there was a point where I was just like, I like totally like left my head. And then you saved my ass and you asked a question because I was just going to keep sitting there.
No, it was good because I was like, I had questions too. And I was like waiting for that moment. But like, I was like, I don't want to interrupt. I want to let him keep going. And you and him
I just wanted to listen. I was like, I don't want to ask a question. I'm just going to listen. Hear his.
Oh, man. I can't believe some of those stories he was telling.
No, that's cool, man.
Hey, Grit. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yeah.
Oh, what a nice picture, Grit. Nice little
And hey, Amp Dammy, sorry if I didn't get to say hi to everybody. I was trying to do my best to go interviewer mode, which I'd never done before. But
pretty much Joe Rogan up there.
You did fantastic, my friend.
Did it? You think so? Thanks so much, Joe.
No, I really do. You kept, and there was never like dead air. You know, you kept the flow. going. If that's your first time interviewing somebody too, like that's that's fucking great.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Anthony Marzella. The name
we
sounds
got-
familiar.
That's
And James Skaka.
Italiano.
Shout out to James Skaka. We got a lot of family in here tonight.
No, yeah.
A lot of peeps.
Yeah, we were holding good numbers. We were around like 30 a lot of the time.
Yep.
Yeah, we were above 30 most of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Southern Sun and Grow. No, hi, Wendy. How are you?
Facebook.
Oh, John, your drinks looked awesome, by the way. Sorry I missed the second one.
Thank you. No. You're great, man. Yeah. They were fun to make. Literally just recipes I threw together today. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. But yeah, I was happy with how they came out.
I want to give a shout out to Machinist, man. He, he's not showing his face tonight, but he crushed queuing those pictures.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Machinist, brother. Really appreciate it.
Oh, man.
It added to it for sure. But it was cool just to see young Jimmy pictures with him. Just
Yeah.
rocking out.
Oh, man. And then he's
I kind
talking
of want to
about
ask him like there's so many questions that were just in my head, but I was like, I'm just gonna let him talk. But like some of the stories behind some of those photos look pretty cool too.
Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. And I felt like kind of like a noob. He was saying some names. I knew a lot of the names he was saying, but some of the names he'd be like, "You know who it is," and I'd be like, "Hey, of course, yeah, I know who that is."
Mark, tell me, how did you guys meet?
He is Madeline's neighbor.
Oh, okay, no way.
Yeah, so I went and knocked on his door one time to try to get a piece of equipment, like a cord, and I walk in and I just see 3 fat platinum records on the wall, and I'm like, "What are those?" He's like, "Oh, I played on Changes in Latitude," and I'm like, "The board game?" And I was like, "It's like, no, I'm the original Guitarist from Germany," and I was like, "What?" And so I got to know him, and I would see him passing, whatever. And one day I went over to get something, and he just started telling these stories, and I'm like, these are amazing. Like, and he was full throttle that night. I think he was a little more reserved because he had the lady next to him. But I was like, have you ever told these stories online or whatnot? And he's like, no, not really. I've done podcasts before. I was like, would you come on Guitars and Cigars? And he said yes. And I'm like, awesome,
Dude. Yeah. No, he's a great connection.
Exciting, man. That's cool.
Oh, Phoebe.
Cat.
Hi, Phoebe.
Say hi,
I
Phoebe.
need to, when I come visit you, I'm gonna need to come. I'll bring my record. We'll get him to sign my record there.
Yeah, that was cool. Thanks for having that, by the way, so you could show it to the people and they could see his name on there.
First name right under Jimmy, lead guitar.
Yeah, Roger Bartlett.
Yeah.
Roger Bartlett.
So that was awesome. But Becca says hi, Kitty. Can you say hi, Phoebe?
Look at the kitty cat.
But thank you all so much for being here, and shout out to Amped Emmy, music legend, and a Cat One show spoiling us. Machinist is still at it, brother. Thank you so much, Machinist, man. I really appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
But that was our special edition of Guitars and Cigars with Roger Bartlett. And if y'all know any musicians, we would love to do more interviews like that. That'd be cool. I liked his Spice of Life songs. They were really great, and he's got a lot of great lyrics in there. And
I don't think I know any.
Oh, thank you.
Famous musicians.
Besides John Franklin.
Onto the show. Unfortunately, I wish I did.
Well, hopefully next we'll get some more.
Does he have any good connections that would want to come on?
I don't know. He said he was backstage with Graham Nash. That would be sweet.
Yeah, we'll just have Graham Nash on. No big deal.
Yeah.
Ask him if he knows Little Yachty next time you see him.
But did y'all hear when he totally he tried me? I was like, Roger, you can't make me look stupid on my show. He's like, why not? It's easy. He's so freaking troll.
Got you.
But I'm going to sign off. If y'all want to hang out, y'all are certainly welcome to.
I will probably also sign off with you to get cleaned up.
Cold outside. It's actually cold for once in South Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. So
it's been a long night.
Well, that was awesome. Good job, Mark. Good job, John.
Yeah.
Pleasure being back.
Peace. And
you guys.
We don't see you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Good night, Machinist. Good night, Big Dama. Good night, Grit. And appreciate y'all watching the show. See you, Wendy. See you, Bev. Oh wait, Bev said,
Good night, everyone.
Hey, EA. Peace out, brother. Love you, EA. Good night, Greg V-Ball. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Adios, guys.
Adios, amigos.
See you, Big Dama.